beloveds, so this is the first time that I've tried this online. Bear with me, let's see how it goes. So the first thing that I share in my moon circles is what's been happening astrologically the last couple of weeks since the last moon. So what do we have? So March the 17th, the Sun was conjunct the North Node. The last time the Sun was conjunct with the North Node, it was at the beginning of April last year, but that was in Aries. Aries is about risk-taking. It gave us the push to where we needed to be. Now, the North Node is in Pisces, and Pisces is showing us where we were headed to with this and where to go next. Divine timing. If something has re-emerged here, it was for a reason. If it fades, also trust this. It has completed its purpose in your life story. Then we had the 20th of March was the equinox, and that was on the Thursday. The Schumann resonance was intense the whole of this week. There was lots of fatigue and clearing out of old emotions coming up. It's incredibly rare to have spring equinox arrive in the middle of eclipse season. So there's so much more that's been coming in than normal for an eclipse window. This was also the day that the Sun moved into Aries. Then the 22nd of March, 2 days later, so this is the Saturday, the Sun was conjunct to Venus in retrograde. Now, when Venus turned retrograde at the beginning of March, she began burning off old karma, clearing out old stories, preparing for her new cycle. And the 22nd of March heralded the turning point in the Venus retrograde. This point in the cycle is where she is reborn. The themes that you'll notice from this time will be carried forward until the next Venus Cazimi. This the Cazimi being in the heart of the Sun, and so the next Venus Cazimi is in Capricorn in January 2026. So during this time period coming up, we're going to be carrying a much more aggressive, assertive archetype of Venus with all the Piscean traits of grace, imagination, fantasy, emotional nuance. And these themes that are coming up around the Venus transits are not just about love. There's also themes of beauty, connection, self-worth, finances, creativity, and values. What did you find yourself calling in around this time? Was there any conversations that you remember having on that Saturday? Deeper relationships, emotional intimacy, financial increase, creative inspiration. You might have noticed yourself being a magnet to all the right things. Where did life flow for you? Or maybe you were trying to get somewhere and there was a struggle. Where were you coming across blocks and struggles to get what you wanted? And reflecting back, the last time Venus was in this heart of the Sun point, the last Venus Cazimi was in June 2024 in the sign of Gemini. So you might like to reflect back on this last phase of Venus to see what it has brought you. Moving on, then Monday the 24th of March, the Sun was conjunct Mercury in retrograde. So this brought us another Cazimi, this time with Mercury. And this was a day to be really open to inner wisdom and insights. It was a great day to create time and space for any unseen wisdom and higher intelligence to come through and be integrated. And with Mercury in Aries, this might have shown up as animal instincts and desires calling to be felt. Then Wednesday, then Chiron and Mars. There's an opportunity on Wednesday the 26th to look at what was coming up for us with anger and healing it, bringing things out into the open that may usually be too afraid to bring to the surface. Ideas of self-respect and healthy anger here. We also have more Piscean planetary movement as Venus went retrograde, went back into Pisces on Wednesday, and Mercury will be doing the same on Saturday. Now there was something else about Venus that I made a note of here. So with Venus heading back into Pisces, we're being shown dreams that were once out of reach, and to feel that dream clearly again. What does your heart truly desire? So, Neptune enters Aries on Sunday. So this is looking ahead a little bit, but just to bear in mind, we've been feeling these shifts of like the last degree of Neptune in Pisces, as Neptune is moving in to Aries, preparing for it. Now, the last time Neptune was in Aries, there were wars like American Revolution and other things happening around the globe. So I'm recognising what is going on the planet right now, as intense as it all feels, is meant to be. We are gearing up to some big shifts globally. Right now, Neptune is still in Pisces, and there's this sense of how can we not get caught up in the global things we can't control, but instead use this energy on micro levels to make the changes that need to occur for the planet's evolution. And in accessing this energy through love instead of fear, we can have a supportive impact on the world, helping to raise the Earth's vibration. I'm curious to see how things unfold when this shift occurs. So, now there's an opportunity now to reflect on all that I've said, of what's been happening over the last couple of weeks, and also to celebrate who you've become since March last year. Since that North Node was in Aries before, who have you become since then? And also since April of the year before. Just noticing when we first began working with the Libra-Aries eclipse axis, particularly when it comes to relationships, because this axis was about relationships. Are you feeling more aligned when it comes to who you are surrounded by now? Are there relationships you've let go of? And Venus reflections. What might this last phase of the Venus energy have brought you since the beginning of June last year? And what conversations did you notice coming in for you this time around last Saturday? There's also an opportunity to reflect on what themes have you noticed showing up in this 2-week eclipse portal, where everything seems a bit blind and unseen. So just taking a moment, just taking a pause with you now, while you consider those inquiries. So, in this next phase, I'll talk a bit about the energy we're stepping into with this new moon and eclipse that we're moving into now. As I'm speaking this, it is about 24 hours before the eclipse is coming in. So if you're watching this after the eclipse, then things might land for you differently to how they're landing for me now. So I'll talk about the energy that around the moon and the eclipse, and then we'll go into a guided meditation to connect with our personal guidance over what might be coming in for us. And as ever, if the words I say don't land for you, you are very welcome to take your own journey with the energy of my words instead. I've had some beautiful wisdom come in for me at times where I've let go of what the facilitator was guiding me, where the facilitator is guiding me, and listening to my own truth instead. So you might like to get comfy, maybe get a blanket, have a notepad and pen to hand for making any notes, any wisdom that comes to you. And there'll be the opportunity to make notes afterwards as well, if that feels good for you. So the new moon and solar eclipse is in Aries, peaking at 10:48 a.m. on the 29th, on Saturday the 29th of March. Then 24 hours later we've got Neptune moving into Aries, which could bring a significant energy shift. So the last time this happened was 164 years ago. This eclipse isn't a total eclipse, so it won't be as powerful as the one that happened this time last year, for those of you that remember the impact of that. However, it is a supermoon and is feeling very potent. Now, the previous eclipse at the blood moon was in the south node. Now that was supporting us to release our past. So there's an opportunity to reflect on what has come up for us in the last couple of weeks, particularly in relationships. There's been this sense of releasing the past, releasing any controlling programs that have been holding us back. Perhaps someone from our past re-emerged, or perhaps we found closure during this time. There's been a sense of taking care of past matters in order to make space for new opportunities, and trusting the unfolding as we wait for what's on the other side to emerge. And so tomorrow is the North Node eclipse, pointing us towards our future and destiny. This is the final eclipse in Aries until 2032. There's this sense of propelling us forward to our evolution, a time to take a new path, to shed our identities and step forward into a new way of being. Aries teaches us to go after what we desire instead of waiting for it to come to us. There's a sense of innocence and naivety here, that youthful spring energy bringing a beginner's mind to the proceedings. We might find ourselves getting irritated or no longer willing to put up with certain behaviours. Finding a safe way to release and express ourselves that's important. Anger and other heated emotions come from a deeper place. If we take the time to explore what's going on underneath, we might find things like sadness or control issues. And spending time with these underlying feelings can support us in creating a shift. Now, with this eclipse coming in the early degrees of Aries and conjunct with the North Node in the late degrees of Pisces, there's a clear sense of something needing to be released for something new to emerge. What are we being invited to embody in order to progress on our path? So, Pisces brings us a sense of needing to tend to our spiritual well-being, to enable us to connect to what is universally true. There's a reminder that some doors need to be fully closed in order for new doors to open. Now, there's a wide conjunct with Mercury, which will move into Pisces a few hours after the eclipse. We're being invited to see past conversations and decisions in a new light, and to choose a more heart-centered, intuitive approach. Venus conjunct with Neptune in Pisces reminds us to align with our higher values, cultivating a sense of devotion in all that we do, letting go of the superficial, and aligning us with what is truly meant for us. Looking to the past will give us guidance on how to move forwards. Observing our patterns, noticing what conversations might have been coming in for us, paying attention to our past experiences. And these can all provide insights into how to move ahead. However, also bear in mind that these planets being in retrograde can bring fogginess. So clarity may not become clear until they move forwards on the 12th of April. Don't be in a rush to make any concrete decisions. So multiple transitions are happening at this time, pulling us in various different directions. We might be feeling overwhelmed and confused by these different poles. Know that there is a reason for this, and there are many more changes on the horizon. Neptune is in the last degree of Pisces, underscoring the need for closure and completion. Neptune will be moving into Aries very soon, bringing this sense of critical changes, both with crises and with opportunities. And with Mercury moving back into Pisces just hours before Neptune moves forward into Aries, we could see more spiritual revelations and compassionate conversations coming into being. Mars and Pluto are in opposition, not just now, but for the entire of the Aries season. There's a drive for transformation while challenging us to examine the nature of power. What is and isn't power? There's build in momentum for April the 26th when this becomes exact. However, we are already feeling the influences. Mars in Cancer reflects a drive to act based on what feels safe, familiar, or necessary for our emotional security, while Pluto in Aquarius pushes us forward towards revolution and evolution, both personally and collectively. These energies in opposition ask us to assess our resistance to change, to break free of emotional attachments that keep us stuck, and to become aware of the power imbalances we are caught up in. Trust the process of transformation, even if it doesn't make sense. We're moving into an era of accelerated change. All the transpersonal planets will be in new signs soon, hailing a new era. Often new moons bring us the opportunity to manifest. However, with the eclipse energy at play, there's more of a sense of being guided towards. We will have a bigger sense of leaping forwards once Mercury and Venus station direct. So that coming in on April the 12th. Oh, which is also, incidentally, a Chiron Kazemi. So that will be sparking the beginning of a transformative healing journey for some. So, for now, settle in, get comfy, and take some slow, deep, connecting breaths as we move into the guided meditation section of this circle. So, take a moment to notice, how could you be just 1% more comfortable in this moment? What gift might you give yourself? Maybe it's a cushion, maybe it's a blanket, maybe it's a rolling of your shoulders, or a shifting of your sit bones. So now, I'd like you to imagine visualizing your body as a sand timer that's just been turned over. Allowing your eyes to come to rest as you view, see, imagine, know those grains of sand, allowing those grains of sand to run from your head through your neck and it down into your body below. Dropping down through the floor, allowing your roots to extend through the cracks and down into the earth below. Noticing how your roots extend. Maybe they are spreading outwards along the surface of the earth. Maybe they are spreading downwards into the soil. And maybe you are finding a taproot going from your spine, from your tailbone, right down into the center of the earth. And noticing where it is that your roots feel comfortable to go today. So noticing that there is an invitation here to release any energies that no longer serve you, allowing these energies to drain down through these roots and into Mother Earth. Mother Earth will transmute them with love and combine them with everyone else's energy to be transmuted. And in doing this, noticing that there can be an exchange. That in releasing these energies to Mother Earth that you're done with now, then Mother Earth can give you some new energy to support you in these times. So visualizing drawing that energy back up through your roots, through your feet, through your legs, through your tailbone, into your hips, into your pelvis, and noticing a sense of being held by the earth. And connecting also to the above. Drawing a cord of golden light down from the heavens, from above your head, allowing this divine light to simultaneously pass through and over your crown, allowing it to run through and over your entire body, opening your connection to all that there is, drawing this energy down through your head, your third eye, your throat, down into your heart space, allowing the energies of the above and the below to move and swirl together within you. And now, taking a moment to connect to the very core of you, wherever you may find yourself. Perhaps it's in your heart. Perhaps in your pelvis. Perhaps in your little toe. Inviting this energy at the core of you to expand outwards, filling your chest, filling your abdomen, filling your entire body and spreading outwards into your auric field. And noticing how far you are able to visualize, imagine, or know that you can spread this energy outwards. Perhaps you can spread it out across the city you are in. Perhaps you can spread it out across the room you're in. Perhaps you can spread it across the house. Perhaps the city or town you are in. And perhaps you can spread it out across the entire county, maybe the entire of England or the country you are in, maybe across the entire continent. And perhaps you can expand this energy outwards until it covers the globe, reaches out to the moon, spreads to the outer reaches of our solar system, and maybe you can spread this energy out to the edges of our galaxy, expanding across all galaxies, across the universe, or the multiverse. And now, taking a pause to appreciate how far that essence of you has spread. And notice that just as before, notice that you can draw some of this energy that you find out there. Some of this energy can be drawn back in with you as you return to a more normal size, drawing this energy back into the very core of you. And now, in this more expanded state, the invitation is to go within, to notice how it feels to be you. Notice what you're noticing. Feel what you're feeling. Sense what you're sensing. And noticing any things you might have been guided to let go of over the past couple of weeks. Recognize how you may be able to make these changes happen smoothly, calmly, without rush, and in a way that supports your nervous system. And notice, in reflecting on the conversations, the synchronicities, the signs that have come in for you lately. Notice where it is the universe might be guiding you towards. What version of yourself might you need to become in order for that progress to be made? Take some time with that version of yourself. Who is in your life? What are you surrounded by? What foods are you tasting? What clothes are you wearing? What smells are around you? What textures can you feel? What do you know? And now, taking a moment to notice the activities you might be taking part in, the experiences you're inspired to try. Spend some time here for a moment, soaking it all in. You may be receiving images. You may be receiving words. You may simply have a knowing. You may be receiving a somatic imprint in your body. You might even be receiving a download of energy. Notice more. And now, asking your higher self, is there any other wisdom to be shared? Anything else you need to know right now in order to become this version of you? And so, taking one last look at your possible future, I invite you to come back to the now. Maybe you wiggle your toes, your fingers. Maybe you draw your hands up to your face, stroking your face. Maybe you bring your hands to cover your eyes and softly opening your eyes underneath your fingers. And this way you can slowly open the gaps in your fingers to let more light in. And now, staying in this soft space in the body while you do so, I give you the opportunity to integrate what you've received, perhaps by journaling, perhaps by something else. And the invitation is that once you've completed what you need to complete here, you find a way to share what needs to be shared. Find a way to send what you're calling in out into the universe in some way, acknowledging that you've received the information and asking for this to come in and find you. I hope that this has been and continues to be a supportive space for you today. Sending you all lots of love.